Hey friends, today we're going to talk about bread. It's all about baking bread. My Aunt Barb came down to see me from Seattle all the way down to California just to see me, to show me how to bake bread. Now, I've never baked bread before. I still haven't baked bread, but I know how to do it because Auntie Barb came down here and showed me how to bake bread. So let's get started. So Barb is going to bake some bread for us today, and she's going to show us just exactly how to do it. But before we get started, let's just get some things out of the way. For example, this stuff, this bread, it's junk, it's terrible. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Let's get some real baked bread on right now. That's so delicious. You add the butter, maybe a little honey, maybe a little cinnamon. It's just delicious. Toasting it. I can think of a million ways to use this bread. I mean, you can slice it, you can dice it, you can put it in little cubes, you can make croutons out of it, you can put it in your soup. There's so many options. So it's time to live life. Eat some bread. Enjoy. Get rid of all these. Goodbye to green superfood. Hello, bread. Let's get started. Let's see what Barb has to say on how to bake bread. Here we go. Take it away, Barb. 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon yeast, and 1.5 cups of warm water. That's for the 3-cup recipe. 60.3 loaves of bread per person per year. That is astonishing. And because of all that bread being eaten, we're going to have to put on our bread baking apron and get started here.
Flour. And I usually put mine in a bowl, a small bowl. But let's just stir it up a little bit. You don't want it too thickish. And then you measure out 3 cups.
Okay, full disclosure, I actually have never baked bread, but I got my baker apron on. I never baked it. We got to go to Auntie Barb. She'll show us how to bake some bread.
So now you have 3 cups of flour. It can be whole wheat flour, it can be rye, a little bit of both. This is unbleached white flour. I usually use half white and half baker's flour. So what I'm going to put in here is 1 teaspoon of salt.
What are those specks in there?
Basil.
Oh.
Basil,
Okay.
which I have mixed together.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon. Only 1/4.
Not too much of this, huh? What is it?
This is yeast, and it can be any kind of yeast. Doesn't matter.
Slow rise, fast quick rise.
Quick
Okay.
rise. And I kind of heap it.
1 tablespoon.
Yes, it's
All
a
right.
itty bitty amount. When you put your yeast in and your salt, you put the salt on one side and the yeast on the other side, because when the yeast and the herbs and salt mix, they start to activate. Now, 1.5 cups of warm water.
Like lukewarm.
A little more than luke.
A little bit more.
Just proceed to dump it in there.
That was 1.5 cups?
1.5, and you just mix it up. Now this is a 3-cup small loaf of bread, and you just want to be sure everything is wet. All the flour is absorbed. You can do this before you go to bed. 10 o'clock, get up in the morning, bake it. And we're going to let it sit for, typically you don't have to let it sit very long, like maybe 3 to 5 hours. Put it over the top of her bread. And she just kept it warm. In fact, she put about 3 blankets over the top.
Oh.
We're not going to do that.
Okay.
Because all the bread,
So you want to keep it warm.
I just want to keep it a little bit warm, no drafts. But I started doing this about almost 5 months ago, and I've made almost, I don't know, 30 25 loaves of bread this way. We're gonna let that sit. We're gonna come back about 5 or 6 hours later.
Okay, now you're in the 6-cup version. You're doing the
Yes.
same process up to this point, except more. You notice
Except more.
more yeast, more flour,
Yes.
more salt, more everything.
Yes.
And you're gonna give me this recipe. Jamie, what do you think about bread?
I think bread is the best thing in the planet.
But isn't it bad because of carbs?
Yeah, you know, but everything is good in moderation.
Moderation. That's a problem that I have.
That's a whole other video.
Oh, moderation. Okay.
So this bread will last about 10 days and just let it sit there. So the first 3 days, they tell you, is great for bread, sandwiches. The next 3 days, it's great for toast. The next 3 days, it's great for croutons and bread puddings. In fact, I think I will use it. So you're just gonna kind of play with this. They stretch it and they fold it and make it round. And you're forcing the bubbles to come up.
How long do you let that sit for?
Till your oven is hot. So you can let it sit there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, water. Yeah, looks great. The Dutch oven with nothing in it for half an hour at 450. Just let it sit in there and let it warm up.
You're gonna put your bread just in here, just to let it rest while your Dutch oven is heating up. Hot bread. So we're putting it in a pan with a parchment paper. We're gonna cover it up and let it sit here for about 25 minutes. And then we're gonna put it in the Dutch oven.
Wow, that looks yummy.
Well, actually, I mean, you could, let's just cut one end off. This is the last 15, and it sort of took the shape of your pan. Normally it would be rounded, but yours is oval. So it did take a little bit. It's good. So,
What? It's good? So you like the bread? Yeah. Kenzie approved? What's the best part of the bread?
I like the middle.
You like the middle.
you like the middle.
I like the middle.
I like the crust.
I like just anything about it.
I like the butter. So there's the bread and the parchment paper. You just want to throw it away.
Bang! Okay. All right, I think he likes it. It's Tucker approved. Enjoy Barb's bread at the poolside. How much does Barb's bread weigh? It lands in at 8.2 pounds. Just a few jokes, just to lighten the mood. What did the bag of flour say to the loaf of bread? I saw you yesterday. Get it? Yesterday? I saw you yesterday. Why does bread like warm weather? Because things get toasty. Why are bread jokes always funny? Because they never get mold. What does the bread do after it's done baking? It loafs around. Why was the baker in a panic? He was in a loaf and death situation. Why did the baker go to jail? He was caught beating an egg. Sweet dreams, Barb bread.